What's up everyone? Happy Muns Monday! Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome here. If you're a returning fan, viewer, or subscriber, so happy to have you back. Without you, I just wouldn't be able to do this. If you watched my previous video, which I will link at the end of this one if you didn't get the chance to see it, Nintendo announced last week the brand new Super Smash Bros. For Switch. Thank you God, our prayers have been answered. So one thing that I always do when a fighting game is coming out, because I'm a huge fighting fan as I've talked about before, and you can watch some of my Street Fighter videos and other things like that, I put together a wish list of characters that I hope make the roster in the end. So for today's video, I am going to share my top 25 most wanted characters for the new Smash Bros. For the Switch. Just as a disclaimer, this in no way is a list of my predictions for the roster, characters that I think are the most popular by any means, or characters that other people want or have been discussed. This is just my personal wish list, my personal 25 most wanted characters that I love and adore and think would bring something unique to the roster. So without wasting any more time, we're gonna jump right into this. The list is kind of arranged in an order, one being my most wanted character, my top 5, my top 10. I have a really hard time picking favorites, so take that loosely in terms of the order. They're all really important to me. I love all these characters and I feel like all of them would be really great. I just kind of put them in an order for the purpose of this video. Number 25, Wonder Red from the Wonderful 101. The Wonderful 101 was on the Wii U, and I put Wonder Red as number 25 because the copyright is a little bit loose with this particular game. Although Nintendo was the publisher, Platinum Games technically is the developer, to my understanding, the same company that makes Bayonetta. And if you are a Smash Bros. Fan, you know that Bayonetta was in the last Smash on Wii U and 3DS. So rather than having Bayonetta come back, I thought Wonder Red would be awesome to kind of be a Platinum Games rep, since Platinum Games seems to have a really great relationship with Nintendo right now, and probably an exclusive relationship with Nintendo, if that is my memory. Number 24, Musashi from Sushi Striker. So we don't know very much about this character at all. Sushi Striker was just announced last week in the Nintendo Direct. However, I am always a fan of new series representation. I was looking at the last roster for Smash Bros, and while there were a ton of characters, I was really surprised to see that really there's not that many Nintendo franchises represented in the game. So I think it would be awesome as a new character to represent a brand new series that Nintendo is launching, and I love ninjas, and so I just think it would be hilarious to have Musashi throwing sushi, doing these kind of crazy things, summoning the different spirits that he can use, and I just think he would be a great addition to the roster. Number 23, Dylan from Dylan's Rolling Western. Now, I've never actually played this game, but as a character, I think Dylan is really nicely designed. I think he would bring something really interesting, being as he is an armadillo, rolling around, doing all kinds of craziness. I think Dylan would just be a great addition, and I know he is also a highly requested character by a lot of other fans, so it just makes a lot of sense. Number 22, Starfy from the legendary Starfy. Starfy has made an appearance as an assist trophy, and I want to say both Smash Bros. Brawl and Wii U/3DS. So the model is already in the game. I think he would be really hilarious to have, and he's just so cute. So he just would be, again, another series to represent. Already that would be the Wonderful 101, Dylan's Rolling Western, Sushi Striker, and the legendary Starfy. Number 21, Chibi Robo from Chibi Robo. This is another really adorable character that I think has a lot of moveset potential. Using his electrical cord tail and different household objects that he has in his games, I think Chibi Robo is a fan favorite, and I just love him, and I think it would be great. Again, another new series. Number 20, Ribbon Girl from ARMS. So I know that the boy from ARMS, I can't even think of his name, would probably make the most sense because he's kind of the face of ARMS, but I think it'd be nice to bring in Ribbon Girl since she's a girl and be another female on the roster, and she's just got a really nice design too. ARMS is one of Nintendo's children right now. Much like Splatoon, we all knew that the Inkling kids, whatever they're called, we're gonna be in the new Smash eventually because Nintendo pushed Splatoon so hard, and they're doing the same with arms. And so I just feel like it's inevitable. So I just feel like Ribbon Girl would be a nice addition. Number 19, King K. Rool from the Donkey Kong series. King K. Rool is one of the most highly requested characters for Smash by fans all over. I love the Donkey Kong series. I've played so many of the games growing up, and so I definitely love K. Rool. However, he's not as requested for me personally as some of the other characters, but he definitely is someone I would love to see make the cut, and absolutely do I believe Donkey Kong needs another rep. So K. Rool would be perfect. Number 18, Poochie from Yoshi. So, if you're a fan of Yoshi in any way, shape, or form, you know that he has had a faithful companion in the last couple entries in his series. Poochie the dog is another playable character in the Yoshi games, and he just, look at him. He'd just be awesome running around. If they can make Duck Hunt work, they can absolutely make Poochie from Yoshi work. Plus, Yoshi has been the only Yoshi series rep since 64. So it's about time he gets somebody else. Number 17, Kaamika from Yoshi. Piggybacking on Poochie, I think Yoshi deserves 3 reps. I just do. Kaamika has been a pivotal part of the Yoshi series for a long time, and I just think being a wizard and the broomstick and all this kind of stuff, he brings a lot of interesting potential to have a very unique moveset and to give the Yoshi series another representative. This would bring the Yoshi series up to 3 characters, and I think that's perfect and would be great. Number 16, Bandana Dee from Kirby. If you know anything about Kirby, lately he's been running around with a ragtag crew of King Dedede, Meta Knight, and yes, Bandana Dee. So I feel like Bandana Waddle Dee is a perfect addition to the roster because he has a spear and he could do a whole bunch of different things, and I just feel like Kirby definitely deserves to have 4 reps on the roster, and this would just complete the Dreamland squad. Number 15, Lip from Puzzle League. So, if you recognize this little handy dandy item that's been around since 64, might have been Melee, check, don't quote me on that. This little thing belongs to this lady right here, Lip from Puzzle League. I think the original owner of this object deserves to be on the roster because, you know, female additions are always great. The males tend to always outdo females on the roster, so having another girl that's kind of an obscure icon in the Nintendo history since the Nintendo days, really, or Super Nintendo, one of the two. Lip has been around for a long time, and I think she would just be one of those choices like Marth was in Melee, where it's like, who is this? And it interests you in wanting to be them, and as opposed to some of the more recognizable faces. Number 14, Ashley from WarioWare. So I absolutely believe that Wario needs a second representative, and there's a whole slew of characters that they could choose from the WarioWare series, but my personal favorite has been and always will be Ashley. She has a quirky, dark personality. She's a young witch, and I think her powers and her abilities would just be absolutely perfect for the Smash series. This would bring the WarioWare series rep count up to 2. Number 13, Captain Toad from the Captain Toad series. So Nintendo finally gave Toad his spotlight opportunity to become Captain Toad in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which launched on the Wii U and is now being ported, according to the last Nintendo Direct, to the Switch and to the 3DS. I think using a whole slew of things that he finds in the game, the turnips, the diamonds, the stars, throwing these different things would just make Captain Toad a really unique character. It's another series rep, and it avoids adding to the Super Mario series reps by giving Toad his own series. So I just think it's a perfect loophole, and Nintendo just make it happen. Number 12, Tom Nook from Animal Crossing. I feel like so many characters on this list are gonna have you guys being like, what the heck, Matt? Why would you want them? What would they do? Why would you even pick them? There's so many better choices. That's fine. Remember, this is my list, and I like the obscure, crazy, least expected characters because I think their movesets are always interesting. Everyone knows they have a sword. Okay, great. Of course they're going to be great fighters, but what about the ones that you would never expect to be able to fight? Those are the ones that Nintendo really pushes themselves to create a unique moveset, and Tom Nook is absolutely one of them. Little Mac had a KO meter in the last game that when it built up, he could perform a special move. If you landed it, it pretty much knocked your opponent off the stage. I feel like because they implemented a unique mechanic to that character. They could do something similar to Tom Nook, involving the use of bells. As he attacks his opponents, he could collect coins. The more coins he has, the more damage he's able to do. And he could involve throwing the little leaves that become furniture and knocking people down, hitting them with bags of bells, and even dropping a house or something crazy like that on them. I think they could get really wacky with his moveset, and he's an iconic character in the Animal Crossing series, which definitely deserves more than just the villager. This would bring the Animal Crossing series up to 2. Number 11. Berto from Super Mario. I know. What about Waluigi? I love Waluigi and I think he's great, but if I got to pick, I would absolutely add Berto. So I know you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, but I just love Berto. Berto is a hilariously unique character that's been around in the Mario series for a while, and Berto has only ever been added into the sports games and Mario Kart and different things like that. I think it's time for Berto to get the Smash treatment. Spitting eggs, throwing the hairband, blocking things with the giant diamond ring on Berto's finger would just make Berto a really unique character on the Smash roster. Yes, you did catch what I was doing with that. Alright, we are entering into my top 10 characters. So again, I love all the characters up until this point, and I had a really hard time making a top 10, but I managed to do it just for y'all. So, if you've watched this video up to this point, we are entering the top 10. The top 10! Number 10. Crystal from Star Fox. I remember getting Star Fox Adventures on GameCube. My mom actually bought it for me when I was younger, when it first came out. And the very first stage that you ever do, you play as this blue-furred fox named Crystal. Ever since then, I have just been a huge fan of Crystal. I love the fact that she's a staff user, she has magic powers. What she would bring to the game, I believe, is just very unique. I think of all the Star Fox characters, Crystal possesses more moves that would set her apart from Fox than any others. Falco, I'm looking at you, dude. Number 9. Andy from Advance Wars. I loved Advance Wars on the Game Boy Advance, and I just think Andy was the coolest captain of all the choices. So having him in the game with his wrench, smacking people down, commanding tanks and airplanes and all these different things that he could shoot out and have firing out at the different opponents, I just think it's time for Advance Wars to get into the Smash roster. We saw the little tanks and everything that they had as assist trophies, and it's time for a captain to be represented in the game. And Andy is the perfect choice. Number 8, Skull Kid, Legend of Zelda. I personally believe that the Legend of Zelda is underrepresented in Smash Bros. I think they have the characters that are the most iconic, but it really limits which games in the series are represented. Majora's Mask is a fan favorite by far, and Skull Kid is one of the most highly requested characters and has been for a very long time, and now he's an assist trophy. I think the Little Mac treatment is definitely on the way for Skull Kid with his crazy antics, his magic abilities, and all the shenanigans that he would cause. Skull Kid would be a huge hit, and I absolutely want to see him on the roster. Number 7. We all know that the Smash Pokemon trend is a Pokemon from the current gen. This was shown with Lucario in Brawl, Greninja in the last entry, and now, coming around this time, we know to expect there's going to be a new Pokemon represented. My choice and number 7 on my top 25 most wanted Smash characters is Decidueye. Rowlet is my favorite of the 3 starters in Sun and Moon, and Decidueye is by far one of my most favorite final forms of any Pokemon starters ever. Being a grass ghost type is 100% unique, and I just think firing the arrows, being the only Pokemon that could fly besides Jigglypuff, get out of here, Decidueye would be an amazing addition to the roster, and it's about time we have some grass type on the roster, okay y'all? Number 6. If you watched my Nintendo Switch collection video, I talk about the Fire Emblem series and how big of a fan I am of those games, all the way back to the Game Boy Advance days. I feel like the Fire Emblem reps in the last game are terrible and they could do way better. So with that in mind, I'm considering cutting some of those Fire Emblem characters out and replacing them with just more variety. My number 7 choice is Lyn from Fire Emblem. While she is another sword user, technically she's using a katana. So the way that her sword would be used as opposed to Marth is vastly different. If you've ever summoned her as an assist trophy in Brawl or in this last game, you'll notice how she attacks is very fast, very accurate, almost ninja-esque. Lyn would be the most unique of the sword users of the Fire Emblem choices. She's bringing a freshness to the roster on the Fire Emblem reps that hasn't been there before. I think Lyn would be an amazing choice for Fire Emblem, and I just love her. Okay, here we go with my top 5. Are you guys ready for this? If you made it up to this point and you want to know who my top 5 are, keep on watching, because here we go. Number 5. Dixie Kong from Donkey Kong. If Nintendo said Donkey Kong is finally getting another rep, but we're only adding one character, my choice, even over Krule, yes, you heard me, is Dixie Kong. Donkey Kong Country 2 is probably my favorite Donkey Kong in the series, next to 64. So Dixie Kong is just a nostalgic love for me. Her hair is such a versatile weapon. She could helicopter spin up, grab opponents with it, whip people with it. I just think she would be really great, and I just love her. I think she's adorable and would just be an amazing addition. Number 4. Midna from Legend of Zelda. Keeping in mind what I mentioned about Skull Kid and the Legend of Zelda reps on the Smash Bros. Roster already, Midna is one of my favorite Legend of Zelda characters from one of my favorite entries in the franchise, Twilight Princess. So with Skull Kid and Midna, we would have Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess added to the mix, which really kind of isn't there. I actually would love to see Midna mounted on Wolf Link, because I think that would give her more mobility and change up some of her regular attacks, and then utilize her hand and magic abilities as her specials. Midna is an adorably dark character, and she would bring a really unique tone to the Legend of Zelda reps. Number 3. Number 3 is kind of two characters in a sense, either or, really. I have always been a fan of the Golden Sun series, and I 100% don't understand why Nintendo has thrown it aside and abandoned it in a sense. I would love to see either Isaac or Matthew, because I feel like they would essentially play very similar. Maybe they get the Olimar and Alph treatment in Smash Bros. Wii U. Isaac/Matthew is my number 3 choice. With all the different magic that they have and the sword, the combination together is just a dream made in heaven. I'm not quite sure why Isaac was dropped as an assist trophy in Smash Bros. Wii U and 3DS. Something tells me they had other plans for him, but changed their mind at the last minute. Number 2. Number 2 is yet again another Fire Emblem choice, but keep in mind, this is me going on, they're removing some of the characters that are already there, like Lucina. Hands down, my favorite lord of all the Fire Emblem games combined is Ephram from Fire Emblem The Sacred Stones. I would love to see the blue-haired prince twin with his lance in hand bringing something new to the Fire Emblem reps. He'd have long range, he could throw it with a javelin, do all kinds of craziness, and for his final smash, he could promote into the Great Lord and just smash his opponents down on his horse, and it would be really cool. I think Ephram would be a really nice addition. He's one of my favorite characters of just anything. So that brings me to my number 1 choice for my top 25 most wanted Smash Bros. Switch characters. My number 1 most wanted character is actually a combination of 2, Rex and Pyra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Yes, if you watch my Nintendo Switch collection video, you will know how much I absolutely love Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and beyond that, Rex is just one of my favorite characters. He is so awesome, his spirit, his personality, his sarcasm, his jokes, he just is a great character. With his sword in hand and Pyra bringing the fire, literally, I think this combination functioning similar to Ice Climbers, where Rex would be the main controlled character, and for his specials, Pyra would assist him. I think this would be an amazing addition with the hook shot for recovery, the sword, Pyra, and the fire. Rex could bring a really unique addition to the roster, and I just know that Xenoblade Chronicles is going to get another rep anyways. I don't see a reason they should cut Schultz, since he is a great representative for the first one, but Rex and Pyra would just bring such a unique tone and would be the perfect representatives for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Well guys, thanks for watching my top 25 most wanted characters for the new Smash Bros. On Nintendo Switch. I would love to know who you guys want to see. Leave your #1 most wanted requested character down in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you always know when I post. And until next time guys, and until we learn more about Smash Bros. In the future, I will see you guys really, really soon.